That young lady who went on vacation with a boyfriend who proposed to her and then the following day was found unalived, she didn't do it to herself.
I find it hard to believe that a lifestyle influencer, 31 years of age, goes to Tanzania with her fiance and takes her life.
Could new CCTV footage show that Ashlee's fiancé was involved in her unaliving and even show him buying what people are now calling a murder kit? Because right now, that's the claim that's been spreading online, and it's completely changing how people are looking at this case. What was first reported as a tragic situation is now being questioned from every angle, and a lot of people are starting to say something is not adding up at all. So let's get into everything we know and everything people are starting to question.
Is it even possible to unalive your own self while you are on vacation with the love of your life? Is it possible? Ashlee Jenae was unalived in Tanzania, and according to the report by her supposed fiancé, because she got engaged on that vacation, the supposed fiancé said she took her own life, that is, she committed inside. You understand what I'm trying to say? So our family came out and said it is not possible because they know the kind of daughter they have.
So the case centers around Ashlee Robinson, known online as Ashlee Jenae, a US influencer who tragically passed away while on vacation in Zanzibar, Tanzania. She was there with her fiancé Joe McCann, and from the outside, everything looked like a happy trip. She had just celebrated her birthday, she had just gotten engaged, and based on what she was posting, everything seemed normal, even exciting. But then everything changed very suddenly. According to reports, Ashlee was found unconscious in her villa and taken to the hospital, where she later passed away. Local police initially suggested that she may have taken her own life following what they described as a misunderstanding between her and her fiancé. They also mentioned that the couple had been separated into different rooms by hotel staff after that disagreement. Now here's where things start to get even more complicated. Joe McCann, her fiancé, has not been arrested, but his passport has reportedly been withheld, and he is said to be speaking to police as a witness. At the same time, earlier statements suggested he was not considered a suspect. So right away, you have this situation where he's involved enough to have his passport held but not officially named as someone responsible. And that's exactly the kind of detail that has people questioning what's really going on. Because when you add that to everything else, including the reports of an argument, the separation into different rooms, and the sudden death, it starts to feel like there are pieces missing.
That young lady who went on vacation with a boyfriend who proposed to her and then the following day was found unalived, she didn't do it to herself. She didn't unalive herself. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. And ladies and gentlemen, be careful who you allow to come into your life, because not everyone is moving with good intentions. Some people are very dangerous.
Now, on top of all of this, there's the claim that has really pushed this story into a completely different direction. People online are now talking about alleged CCTV footage that supposedly shows her fiancé buying items that they are calling a murder kit. This has not been officially confirmed, but the claim alone has been enough to send the internet into full investigation mode. Because if something like that were true, it would completely change the entire narrative of what happened. And this is where the speculation really starts to take over. A lot of people are now saying they don't believe the initial explanation at all. Instead, they think that what happened may not have been self-harm, especially after that reported argument. They're asking if something else could have happened behind closed doors, something that hasn't been fully revealed yet. One comment that's been going around says, "I can bet on it that he killed her. Investigate." And that kind of reaction is everywhere right now. Another person said, "He definitely did it. He preyed on her. You can see the evil in his eyes." And while that's a strong statement, it shows just how convinced some people are that there's more to this story. Then there's another comment that adds a different layer, saying, "The proposal in Tanzania looks like a cover-up for him to look good. Something is not adding up." And that's where people start looking at the timeline differently. Because when you think about it, this trip was supposed to be a happy moment, a birthday celebration, an engagement, a vacation. And then suddenly, everything takes a turn that nobody saw coming. So people are asking, was everything really as perfect as it looked? Or was something else going on that wasn't visible from the outside? And then you have the bigger theory that's starting to spread, which is the idea of a cover-up. Some people are now questioning whether the local authorities are being fully transparent about what happened. They're pointing to the quick suggestion of self-harm, the lack of detailed information, and the fact that no arrests have been made so far.
However, family and friends are rejecting this and definitely calling out foul play. You know, there's a lot of opinions and theories and things going out there and whatnot. If there's one thing I would definitely say is that I do not believe she decided to hang herself on her birthday.
There's even speculation that the fiancé being treated as a witness instead of a suspect could be part of something bigger, although again, nothing has been confirmed. One person even said, "That man took that woman out the country to make him look less suspicious. I'm not buying it, probably has life insurance on her," allegedly. And while that is speculation, it shows how far the conversation has gone. At this point, people are not just questioning what happened in that villa, they're questioning everything around it. They're asking why the information has been limited, why the timeline feels unclear, and why certain details don't seem to fully line up. And then there's the emotional side of it, which you can't ignore. Her family is still looking for answers. They've said they are cooperating with authorities and they are waiting for the results of the official investigation, including medical reports. But at the same time, they've made it very clear that they don't believe the situation is as simple as it's being presented.
Uncertainty, mystery, anger, sadness. It's like a part of me has been taken away.
And when you actually listen to them speak, you start to understand why. In a recent interview with CBS News, her parents described the loss as not just heartbreaking, but deeply confusing. They said that everything they've been told so far just doesn't match the kind of person their daughter was. Her mom even said straight up, "It doesn't make any sense." And she explained that Ashlee seemed genuinely happy in the days leading up to her death. This wasn't someone who looked like she was struggling or going through something dark. This was someone who had just gotten engaged, who was on a trip that was supposed to be a celebration. And that's what makes this even harder to process. According to her parents, they had just spoken to her shortly after the engagement, and everything sounded normal. Everything sounded good. And then just days later, they get a call from her fiancé saying something happened and that she was in the hospital. But here's the part that really stood out to them. They said the details were very limited, and the timeline didn't feel clear. Her mom even pointed out that the delay and the lack of clear information right away raised concerns for them almost immediately. And when you look at everything we've already talked about, you can see why that would feel off. Because now you have this situation where the last time they spoke to her, she was happy, celebrating, planning her future. And then suddenly, everything changes, and the explanation they're getting just doesn't seem to match that. So naturally, the family is not accepting the idea that she died from self-harm. Her father even said, "We just want answers." And you can hear the frustration in that, because at the end of the day, that's what this comes down to. They're now planning to travel to Tanzania themselves to try and understand what really happened in her final hours. And that alone says a lot, because it shows they're not just waiting around, they're actively trying to get clarity in a situation that still feels very unclear. And that's what keeps this story moving. Because right now, you have two versions of events. On one side, you have the official explanation suggesting a tragic situation following a disagreement. On the other side, you have growing speculation, alleged footage, and a lot of unanswered questions that people feel haven't been addressed. And somewhere in the middle of that is the truth, so now everyone is watching closely to see what comes next. Whether that alleged CCTV footage is ever confirmed, whether more details come out from the investigation, or whether someone involved decides to speak publicly. Because at this point, the story is far from over, and until there are clear answers, people are going to keep questioning what really happened in Zanzibar.